Hello, everyone, and welcome to my in-depth sort of gameplay, VOD review, analysis, commentary of the match I played on the stream at the Michigan Regionals, playing Serene, Luxem, Zander. This was round 5. I was 2-1-1 at this appointment. I believe my opponent was 2-2, but I'm not entirely certain. And I'm playing against Wind Allies. So let's testing. So, high roll, my opponent wins the die roll. I do not know what my opponent is running going into this. I wasn't able to see. However, he plays Spirit of Winds. I can immediately tell them to be playing against Wind Allies. I know the deck very well. It's a very... I played a variant of this deck for quite a while. I didn't play Swarm personally, but I've tested against it a lot, and I believe it's a very favored matchup. So go ahead and play Spirit of Serene Fire, Glimpse 6. Pausing here, I'll be pausing and playing throughout the video. I'm playing at 2x speed, just things can go quickly, and I'm going to pause it where I want to elaborate more at a given moment. As you can see, my opening hand, Creative Shock, Thieving Cut, I believe that's an Excalibur, Dungeon Guide, another Thieving Cut, and a Fractal of Insight. When you want to glimpse, you're basically looking for Dungeon Guide and Creative Shock are primarily it. In this matchup specifically, you do also want to keep Thieving Cut pretty often. It kind of varies on like what you keep. Depending on when you ask me, I might give you a different answer. Always Shock DG is what you're looking for. So I believe that I'm going to keep Shock DG and Thieving Cut in hand. I'll be sending the other 3 down to the bottom. Yeah, it looks... oh, it was a Light Weaver's Assault. It was Light Weaver's Assault. Okay. So that, Light Weaver's, you can consider keeping some Luxem cards in your hand. Here, let's pause here. This is actually a great example of why it was good that I sent Light Weaver's Assault. I drew a Shield Knight, Fast Cure, and 2 more Luxem Sight. If I had kept that Light Weaver's Assault, I would have had now 3 Luxem in my opening in my 7. You can protect like a couple Luxem cards in your opening hand, but usually only around 2. 3 is iffy. Like if you get good RNG, you can keep a 3rd safe. 2 is like the maximum. And so when you open your 6, you basically want to send in the Luxem cards you see, even if you know it's going to be important in the matchup. Here, just pass turn. I'm just going to end step Creative Shock, discard a float. So we'll go ahead. My opponent is then going to neutralize a Firebobble. This is actually a very smart play by him. He certainly has Fireball and Grand Crusader Ring in his Magical deck. Always start with a Bauble. Don't start with the Grand Crusader Ring. And that's because then your opponent doesn't know if you are on Grail or not. And this matchup specifically also has extra relevance because you can, if they save it for later in the game and have already taken damage, they can materialize Bauble in response to the materialization. I can instantly release, recover 6, and now they can't activate the Fire Bauble. Yep, just resolve Shock. Doesn't really matter what you set since just cutting a float. Glimpse, See Danger, and Scry the Skies. I drew into a cut and another Scry. So let's see, what do I end up setting to keep? I'm probably a top 1, bottom 1. Looks like I top the Scry, Send Danger. That feels correct. I think my logic here, my logic here was that I can, I said. Okay, yeah, I put down, so originally I put down the 2 Scry the Skies, because thinking that the Shumet will die, I'll banish it, I'll banish one of the Scries. I swapped it out for the Thieving Cut. The reason being is because my opponent played allies and passed me with cards in hand. Already at this point in the game, if he's doing that without really, like, seeing like a... He doesn't really know what I'm doing, but... What's the right way to explain this? Swarm allies normally wants to play very aggressively. If on turn 2 he just played 2 allies and passes, to me that signals that he's playing the deck more cautiously. And in that case, he'll likely continue doing that throughout the game. Which means that Thieving Cut's going to be a lot less valuable. Because if I Thieving Cut and he can play like a Displacer Zephyr on his ally to prevent it, and I don't get the draw, now it's really bad. And so Thieving Cut just, as soon as I saw my opponent keep cards in hand, I knew that Thieving Cut had a lot less value. I would want to get it banished, and I would rather keep a Scry. So that's why I swapped it out there. As you can see, he had Deflecting Edge and Zephyr in his hand. So that's also why I didn't play Thief and Cut this turn, even though my initial plan would have been to do so as opposed to playing the Shieldmate. Example, if he had like tapped out, if he had like played another 3-cost ally, then I absolutely would have on my turn played Thief and Cut, cleared his Winter Vanguard. I believe he's going to play Dream Fairy here, if I'm remembering right. Just return my Stalwart Shieldmate to memory. I actually commented that I remember Caven made after this game. So Caven was sitting right next to us. He was basically like a table judge for the game, just to make sure things went smoothly. And I talked to him a little bit after the game. He said when he saw that the Dream Fairy on the Shieldmate after like all the others, like, oh man, it's already gonna be like, it's like he thought it was like almost over at that point. And I'm like, nah, it truly didn't matter. I don't care that it got Dream Fairied. All I want the Shieldmate to do is just be a neutral card to play, which is what it ended up being. Doesn't matter that it got sent back, that I now have in my hand. It's a dead card. Well, I'll just set it down for Remember to Banish. Saving 2 health is good, but it's not like crucial. Now I can just DG up to level 3 here. I'm thinking on exactly how I want to set it down. I decide to risk my Gleaming Cut as opposed to a Scry the Sky, because I want to, if I set down Scry the Skies instead of Gleaming Cut, then I wouldn't have a play to make afterwards. But by risking the Gleaming Cut, if it got banished, oh well, it's not the end of the world. I just lose a +1. Luckily, I kept Gleaming Cut, so I was in an amazing position now here, and I can resolve Scry, putting down a Luxem Sight, and really getting to see some cards. And I see a Juggle Knives, and I put the Juggle Knives on bottom. I put Scry and Thieving Cut on top, driving the Thieving Cut into memory. And now I'm drawing a Scry for turn along with another card off of Gleaming Cut. I'm just setting up my next turn. I'm at 10 health. I'm currently feeling extremely safe. My opponent only has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage on board currently. It's puts me to 16, so I have 9 health left. That's not even counting my Serene Land Release. And I know I'm going to be revealing, recovering 3, and just starting to stabilize from there. I can slam Terrafring next turn. I'll have double Luxem Sight reveals. I know I can clear now with a Thieving Cut now and play a Scry the Skies. I am set, basically. My opponent playing Tide Proclamation here actually is going to end up being a little awkward. As you'll see, get to my turn, I have to change my initial game plan. My game plan is to banish Thieving Cut to draw 2, draw for turn, play Thieving Cut, which is draw, and play Scry as draw. That's 5 cards that I want to play to draw my upcoming turn. So this Tide Proclamation is actually very, very hurtful. He also plays Banner Knight and Phantom's Captain. He's setting up for a huge amount of damage swing. Next turn, he can grab Crystal Empowerment. Okay, so here I slam Terrafring. And so, actually, before going to Luxem reveals, I slam Terrafring, because here my opponent is at 3 cards in hand, one card in hand, 3 cards in memory, so 4 influence total. He'll draw to 5, he'll GCR up to 6. I don't believe he's used GCR, just for a bubble. So Terrafring can only attack with 3 allies. I'm going to be recovering 3 down to 18. 3 ally attacks, even, so now he's not getting Crystal if he's grabbing GCR. So his 3 biggest attackers, with capped, assuming nothing else changes in the board state, he'll be getting in Wind Rider for 3, Banner Knight for 2, and a Swift Recruit for 2. So that's 7 damage that he's threatening. So on its own, that is lethal, technically. It won't actually be lethal, because I can play cards and interact. So I'll be going at 18, plus 7 is 25. That ignores my Land Release to recover 6, so GCR, I cannot die next turn. Even if he has, like, a Inspiring Call, he'd have to pay 2 to attack with Lorraine, then 1 down to Inspiring Call, and only has 2 cards left with Terrafring. Terrafring just guarantees I live another turn, and to get my Luxem reveals. So reveal, he puts the card down to memory. Notable interaction here, if people don't know it, is that Zander, once you reveal, your opponent has to put cards down to memory right away. They don't have a window to respond. You have to respond before the Luxemans get revealed. Also here, you'll notice I intentionally did not banish Gleaming Cut, and the reason for this is because of Tide Proclamation. As mentioned before, I want to draw 5 cards this turn. I can't do that now. Looking at the board, I need to interact. I want to resolve Scry the Sky so I can find another Luxem card. I really need to find a Lightweight result here to start clearing bodies, or just another Luxem Sight to end up not dying. If I can hit 3rd Luxem Sight, start recovering 9 a turn, it's basically impossible for me to die. 6 to recover is already absolutely huge. And I also want to resolve Thieving Cut, because Thieving Cut with Zander can clear a big body, like the Phalanx Captain. So I'm just immediately going to go ahead and play that Thieving Cut. Zander always watching gives it +1 powers on attacking arrested ally, or arrested unit, actually. So I'll Thieving Cut, prepare it, kill the Phantom's Captain, draw a card, draw into another Thieving Cut. They'll be great for in the future. Just getting the 1 chip, because why not? Scry Skies, look 3 fire cards. I don't need those. I want Luxem cards. Immediately send them to the bottom. Draw 1 card into memory. I didn't flash it to the screen. I'm pretty certain that I did, in fact, draw a Luxem card. I don't remember what it was. I think it's a light result, which is... Oh, no, it's not a light result. You'll see when I get to my turn. But, yeah, so I slammed the Tariff Ring. Villain's on an awkward situation. He doesn't have effective attacks. With the Phalanx Captain dead, the most damage he can do, even if he grabs... or you grab Crystal, sorry. So he is already not going in for a full attack plan. He just passes... What does he have in hand right now? He has Veiling Breeze, Attune with the Winds, 2 Zephyrs, and a Deflecting Edge. So this is actually a really awkward board state for him. I don't know why he chose to not attack. My guess is... So my opponent said that he hadn't really played against Zander a lot before. He was newer to the game and newer to playing competitively, but even experienced competitive players, like I was talking with Kaben afterwards, after this match for a little bit also, and all the TCG guys, and kind of Kaben commented that if he sat down across from me, he was like, I'd have no idea what was going on. He's like, I know what Luxem cards do. I know what the Assassin's cards do. I don't know what your deck is doing. Like, I don't know what cards are going to be in your deck. It's kind of completely like a foreign landscape. And so it's really, really hard to play into a deck that you don't know what it's doing. And that is a significant advantage to playing this deck for so long. And it's part of why we've been a little tight-lipped about the deck list, is we really wanted to get like a good event top with the deck. Regionals, this was kind of like the main one that we knew we'd have a chance for. Unfortunately, Pickle Sword wasn't able to make out to any regionals in Fractured Crown. So because that if he could have, he would have been able to get top of this deck, I think, easily. But so I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do it. But having that difference in information of I know exactly what my opponent's trying to do, and they have no idea what I'm trying to do, or like how exactly my game plan, gives me a very distinct advantage. And so because that, I believe that my opponent just isn't really, he hasn't like internalized yet that if he passes with interaction, which is like normally a very good play here, like against any other deck, you get Terror Framed, you look at this hand of like 4 defensive spells and an Attune with the Winds. Like you can choice either play Attune with the Winds. So probably if I was him, I would have set the Zephyr, Veiling Breeze to play Attune with the Winds and pass. Just because you buff up your board, you're ready. You're still holding Deflecting Edge with the reduction because you are Class Bonus Warrior and you have a sword out. You can also get very nervous on stream. And again, sometimes a bit newer to the game, playing competitive. So my guess is he was probably feeling a little bit nervous. Maybe forgot that Deflecting Edge could be free. So maybe he was thinking through like an Attune line. He didn't. It was I think they could also hold Deflecting Edge, because then you could like Zephyr and Deflecting Edge still. But it's not going to matter because my Zander trigger is going to put down a lot of his cards. So I believe that's why he passes here. Because he doesn't really have like good attacks. I mean, he can attack for 2 with Vanguard and 1 with Banner Knight. Like, that's not really doing much. We go to my turn, and at this point, the game is... we'll wait for my materialization, but I think I grab map here. I'll grab GCR, okay. Under tie... I think I'm getting GCR. Okay, so here. So you reveal the 3rd Luxem site. The game's over at this point. I've won. We are now just going through the motions. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. Like, it is basically impossible for Swarm allies, like, at this point, against Luxem, to win. I'm recovering 9 damage a turn. On a, like, the best burst turns from this deck can be for, like, 15. And unless they're, like, just running with the board. And I can now start clearing the board. My opponent isn't running with the board. I can now GCR at the end of his turn, or at the beginning of his turn, grab the extra card. I'm not certain why I didn't grab map. Normally grabbing map is correct before GCR in this matchup because map is a delayed effect. I don't think I knew that because I didn't know that I was going to get light result. So slight sequencing error for myself in that part, but it ends up working out very nicely for me as I drew into Creative Shock. So now I can GCR and Creative Shock my opponent's turn, which I believe you'll see me get to in a minute here. I was just thinking through his lines. Looks like he drew an Ace Protector and an Inspiring Call. Yeah, so his hand's just really clunky right now. And this is my problem with the defensive builds of, or like the more defensive builds of this deck, is that you can just have these really clunky draws. So if one has after Tune with the Winds, and I want to comment here, Tune with the Winds is on the stack. I'm now going to be playing in response to it. I'm going to... Yeah, so it's on the stack. I activate Creative Shock to draw 2, discard 1. And the reason I do this is because I can now set up 3 cards in my memory before I activate Light Resistant. And I can still control what I discard. Now, once Creative Shock resolves, I'm still holding priority. I'm going to activate Light Resistant, putting down another 4. So I'll be able to reveal 7, deal 7 damage split among his units. This is before Tune resolves. I just want to make sure that he can't... Like, I know that I've won... Okay, so I don't want to discard... Like, I've not literally won the game. I know that I am in a very strong controlling position in this game, and I want to make sure that that can't change. And so, in order to do this, a Tune with the Winds represents a... he had, what, 5 odds on the board? So that represents an additional 5 damage every single turn. That is now a way for him to come back into this game against these reveals. He can now be getting up to significantly chipping away my life. So I just want to get that out of the way. So I cleared the 2 biggest allies. I could have killed Bear Knight plus double Swift Recruit. The reason I didn't is I didn't want to give him 2 free float to level into Blade Master, which could then go and kill Dungeon Guide, buy him back another card. My opponent will able to start rebuilding card advantage, and that's what I want to avoid. So I just killed the 2 scarier allies. I recover now down back to 0, and now, again, we're going through the motions. I've won this game. It's basically impossible for me to lose. And like you can conceive of a sequence of draws my opponent might be able to get out of it, but this game's over. We're going through the motions. Uther comes down, I kill an ally, and again, 1 float now. It's not the end of the world for if he has the 1 float from level up. Actually, looking at his material deck, I don't think he has Blade Master in it, so, okay. Maybe he's sideboarding it. There's, I guess, in most matchups, it's very rare that you do go Blade Master. To be clear, my opponent's now attacking me, and I'm choosing to not intercept with Uther because I know I'm recovering 9. I can take free damage, and I can basically choose what I want to kill with Uther. So he attacks the squirrel, I just ate the squirrel, which is actually very bad for my opponent here. It looks like he probably forgot that Uther had intercept, or just like didn't register that Uther had intercept, because now he doesn't have a good play for his Ace and again, he passes turn. I think it's just he's not used to playing into Zander, and like that his interaction isn't actually able to be interaction. Got Aura Glitter, converting a float back into a card. It's just it's sort of, since I've spent a float now, I have a float in the graveyard. Aura Glitter is now basically another +1. When I choose to banish it, Glimpsing just helps me filter through. So yeah, now all I need to do to win this game is just need to find light results, because I need that to actually kill my opponent. So I uncover the plot here because I only have reveal effects. I have our Luxem sites. I'm already at 0. There's no point Luxem setting myself or uncovering the plot myself. So I just check my opponent, see what's going on there. I realize that my opponent has like nothing going on, and I can start clearing away. I start just going from opponent's life points, our opponent's health. Uther into him, Thieving Cut in, or Uther Cut clears, Stalwart Shieldmate, and then Thieving Cut at my opponent. I should have, I think, Uthered my opponent there. And now I just map, get light result. Yeah, so realistically, I should have gone face with Uther, but it's fine. No, I'm playing up Terrafraying. He just is out of good materializations. What kind of plays can he make here? He could maybe like an Ace and Protector. He could play Banner Knight. Like my opponent doesn't really have good plays. He was going to play Ace Protector. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So what it? Okay, so that was a very range play for my opponent. What it looked like they were trying to do is attack Uther for 2 with Dream Fairy, then bounce it back to hand with Ace and Protector, and then use Ace Protector to clear the Uther, I believe is what his intention was. I think he wasn't expecting me to retaliate with the Uther. Because I knew my opponent had the Ace Protector from the Uncover the Plot reveal, I had a very strong suspicion that's what he was going to try to do, and so I could just retaliate, kill the Dream Fairy. Now he can't really play the Ace in. He kind of had a little lapse in judgment, play the Ace in, bounce off to the back of his hand. And I can just Uther face, activate Light Result, and it's game. So reveal 6, deal 6, and game 2. So, I actually don't sideboard at all for this matchup. My sideboard is completely built for Merlin and Rye, and then also, or for the, so I sideboard 3 Blanche and 2 Gawain. Those are for Merlin and Rye. I'll sideboard Quicksilver Grail, Flare Bauble, and Water Bauble, none of which is relevant in this matchup. Quicksilver Grail technically can like help protect stuff, but it's not worth losing out your GCR. Zephyr is their only really interaction. Best they can really do is I play like a map, and then at the beginning of their end phase, they can like Zephyr the map so that it then comes back at the end of my turn. It's still tapped. They can delay the turn like that. That's really the only interaction they have for Regalia removal. And I mean, he can Zephyr Terrafring is actually a pretty big deal. It could be worth actually if you're struggling with the matchup and you know you're playing against like a here let's go into it with a glimpse here. I want to discuss this. Glimpsing is kind of one of the hardest parts of this deck to like initially learn. Okay, so we have Stalwart Shieldmate, 2 Thieving Cuts, an Excalibur, a Scry Skies, and a Fast Cure. So again, you want to glimpse for Creative Shock and Dungeon Guide. My opening hand has none of those. I'm basically going to send everything down. There is a bit of nuance. I know that Thieving Cut's good in this matchup. However, in no game 1, my opponent was holding up interaction constantly. Even once I was in level 3, he was trying to hold up interaction. So no Thieving Cut's not going to be good. So I should send down both the Thieving Cuts, the Excalibur, instantly. The Scry, also, it's a neutral card, but you should send it down. You don't want a neutral card now. I want a +1 card. Fast Cure and Stalwart Shieldmate. I only run 10 float in the list. So if I draw into a Creative Shock, I want to make sure I have a float. So I'm pretty sure that here I'm going to keep 1 float in my hand in case I draw Creative Shock. And then just bottom the rest. You could just send all 6 here. That wouldn't be a worse thing. I think it'd just be like this. I think keeping 1 float in hand is probably the correct line here. Let's see, what did I choose? Oh, okay, interesting. I chose to keep the Thieving Cut. Yeah, and so here's actually a great example. So I then drew to 6. Here's what I was talking about, where like, so I have, that's what, Juggle Knives at the back, then a Light Bruise Assault, Creative Shock, another Juggle Knives, a Creative Shock, and a Thieving Cut. So if that Thieving Cut had been a floating memory that I'd kept up top, my hand is absolutely amazing. As it stands right now on my turn, I'm going to have to pass in Creative Shock and hope I can draw into a float, but if not, I'm going to have to random banish. So if memory serves, I think I do draw the float, but the correct line there would have been not keep the Thieving Cut, keep the floating memory on top. So that was a misplay there. My opponent is able to here, let's rewind. So I want to look at my opponent's hand. So it looks like they have Gildas, Attune, a Wind card, an Inspiring Call, Attune with the Winds, Deflecting Edge, Zephyr, Swift Recruit. Again, this is an example of how Wind Ally lists can be very clunky. Like this hand, so this is similar to the Wind Ally list I played at the start of Fractured Crown format. It was similar to, I based it off of Caben's list that he was running in Dawn of Ashes. You just have a lot of interaction. Favorable wins. Okay. Because this has tunes, I'm sure it's more similar to the Swarm list. His weapons. This is probably a Swarm list. Maybe he's just drawing kind of clunkily. But a Swift Recruit and a Pass is not the world you want to be in with this deck, especially into Zander. You need to be playing extremely aggressive into Zander. Okay, so I get rewarded. I draw the Floating Memory. I glimpse 2. I'm just checking out what I have. I think I glimpse another. Okay, so I'm just both the bottom. I don't want one of them. I didn't see a float. Drew into another thieving cut here. So here I say, you know what? My opponent is likely holding up interaction. However, I don't think that they're going to use it, is my judgment call. So Recruit's not a valuable ally. And so I decided that it would be a good idea. I have double thieving cut. I don't just want to play Juggle Knives to cycle a card, do 1 damage. I want to... I mean, that would have been fine. Maybe Juggle Knives. Juggle Knives would have been the safer play. I just wanted to start clearing away Swift Recruit. Maybe my opponent had, like... if they had Ace, they would have already played it, but I don't know. So, like... I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the Thieving Cut was the right play. It worked out, because I could draw the card. I had double Thieving Cut is why I think I wanted to do it. Realistically, I think that I should have not played Thieving Cut. I think I should just play Juggle Knives there. Just a safer play. Let's see what my opponent's going to do. He's going to play a Squirrel. I believe he's now just going to play a balanced Gildas. 3. Gildas. Yep, he has balance. So I can get it for a good bit of damage. So this is like where I used my prep counter early. That was definitely a misplay there. But it'll be fine. It should work out. You know. Here, untap, level up, banish your Juggle Knives. Kim actually, he started laughing right here. He tried not. Kim was very good about not making comments about the game at all. He was a very, very good table judge, pointing out a couple like sequence errors that we had made. Like one point earlier in game 1, I forgot to drop Sky the Skies, and he helped clear up some rulings. But he couldn't help it. He laughed when he saw double Juggle Knives. And after the game, he said, how do you phrase it? He said, "You're playing all the cards that I want to be able to run in Zander, but I haven't been able to figure out how to make work," or something like that. And that's kind of like the magic of this deck list. And what Pickle's able to cook up is that like also like Scry the Skies is not a card. Like when you think about it, when you look at the deck list as a whole, it makes so much sense. But when you're trying to put it together, you're like, Juggle Knives, it just does 1 damage. It plays itself like that's not really that impactful. The reason it's so good is because it helps you find Luxem cards and it keeps your influence neutral. So here I just anyways, I leveled up in my past. I have Creative Shock on hand. I drew into another Floating Memory if I remember correctly. Maybe I didn't. No, I drew into Increasing Danger or something. So here, yeah, so now I have an awkward advantage. So actually, here's actually a good point to talk about why Juggle Knives is so good. So I'm now discarding my opponent's end step. And I think it's his end step. But so I have Light Result, Excalibur, Uther, and Juggle Knives in hand. The most obvious discard here is Juggle Knives, because you're like, well, it's, you know, most people discard Juggle Knives here. I know that I'm leveling up to level 3 and banishing the 3 cards I have face down. But what I want to do, and what you want to do with this deck, is you want to hit level 3, and you want to immediately start getting value off of your reveals. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to discard Excalibur. The reason being is my opponent is keeping up a whole lot of interaction. He attacked for 2 and he passed. He has 7 or 8 cards in his hand. I know his hand's clunky. I know he doesn't have any allies. So I know that means he has to have a lot of interaction. Excalibur is not going to resolve. If I discard Juggle Knives, I keep Excalibur. I have Excalibur pre-recollection with Zander trigger on the stack to set my Assault, my Uther, targeting Gildas. He's going to have like Displace or something for Gildas, or Zephyr. And I'll be down to 2 cards in memory, no cards in hand, drawing to 3. That's a really bad spot to be in. Instead, I'm going to discard the Excalibur, and then do the same kind of play with Juggle Knives. I won't rip the card away from my opponent, but it will replace itself, and also get the value out of my Luxem triggers pre-recollection. My Layer Soul can go ahead and clear that Squirrel. He puts 2 cards down, Captain Attune with the wins. I'm not sure my opponent didn't play Captain his turn. So now I have... I drew into and uncover the plot in Luxem site. That's absolutely incredible. Great draws here. I can just get some triggers off. I can recover for 3, do some damage to my opponent. Drew into a fast gear, pass turn. I'm starting to like... Now you want to start rebuilding my influence. I have this Uther in my hand. I'm not going to be able to play Uther next turn. So that's what I'm looking towards. My opponent's just trying to find a way to dig themselves out of it. Another clunky drop. They have a Dream Fairy, which is not a good play. Dream Fairy Cap, man, their hand is rough. That is an unfortunate hand. Captain with 4 cards up. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, so they'll attack with a balanced Gildas, which is really nice. Maybe that's why he didn't play Captain last turn. Pop the ring. Now he can play Weaponsmith. And pass. Yeah, attack for 1 or 2 and pass. Yes, this actually again to a good spot now. Like Captain has a good impact on the board. Fortunately myself, I have Uther in hand. I'm now able to just kind of run with this game. My kind of as soon as like this game started, my opponent was playing very few allies. I knew their hand was clunky and that I would be able to, unless like I drew really badly, that I should be fine in this game. And as it stands, I'm actually drawing relatively well. I'm able to just play Uther, maybe turn sideways, attacking, destroy the Captain. Pass turn, he wakes up, and we're set. Yeah. I have 2 Luxem to extra reveal. I believe I have a fast cure and a Scribe's Guys in memory, so the Scribe's going to dig me for another one. I have Map coming in to grab another card. So he's going to Dream Fairy Uther. That's fine. Uther's already done some work, and actually, in a way, this almost lets me Uther again, because I'll be able to clear the Dream Fairy. Play a Weaponsmith. Okay, so he's trying to get some board presence. It looks like he's going to get an Inspiring Call play here for an extra 3 damage. Cycles cards. My opponent can find some more allies. Yeah, definitely, he's starting to claw his way back into this. Yeah, this is a lot of damage on board he's coming in with. Go to 20. The thing is, I still have my Luxem reveals, and I still have my Serene Spirit. So I'm not really worried about dying. It's just because I can slam Terrafring here. He has a lot of cards, actually, so Terrafring's not amazing. And this is what I'm thinking through what I want to materialize. My thought process is he has 4 allies on board. I'm going to be able to kill some of them. So I do decide to get Terrafring. The idea is just in case nothing funky can be going on. My read is that my opponent has a lot of interaction in their hand, but I don't really know for certain. Get my triggers. This is why Dream Fairy doesn't really matter against the deck. I can just Assault, clear the Dream Fairy. My opponent decides to not Terrafring, which lets me just replay Uther, and I can now attack and clear the Gildas. This is kind of a situation from my opponent where it was kind of like a damned if you do and damned if you don't. If he did activate Terrafring to prevent me from Uthering this turn, instead I would just start developing my board. I'd be able to Scry Skies. I'd be able to play a fast cure. Just recover 4 more, find another Luxem card, and then I'm going to be able to Uther the following turn. So I guess his logic is probably wait to force me to commit the Uther to board. Once it's on board, then play Tariff. Again, this is something where like my opponent doesn't really know how my deck is working, so he can't really effectively form like a good game plan on how to attack it. By leg bouncing and 2x speed there is kind of looks like a caffeinated squirrel, but go ahead and grab GCR. Now I'm just building my influence up to Lightweaver kills. He Terrafrings, no worries. I got the second Lightweavers off the map, and so I'm just going to close up the game. Yeah, so 4 damage to his face. I believe I can now just attack him with Uther. Paying 2 for Terrafring. He Deflecting Edges, and so here, what I would have been able to do if he didn't Deflecting Edge is activate Light Result and kill him. Because Lightweavers would be coming in for 6 damage, puts him to 16, and the reveal would put him to 18. That's what I'm kind of up the math here real quick to see if I can find a way to do it. Unfortunately, because of that Deflecting Edge, if he didn't Deflect Edge, that would have been an extra 3 damage. He would be at 21. That's lethal. And then just going to uncover the plot, start stabilizing a little bit, get special prep counters, so it doesn't matter. Get an extra 9 reveal. I drew into a Luxem site, and do another 2 damage to my opponent. And now it's just like, I just make sure I don't die to something funky. And you grab Tide Proclamation, and Now this is just emotions. I'm gonna be I have lethal on my next turn. I fast cure here. Actually, this is a misplay. We were at even influence. I miscounted. I thought my opponent had one more card. I think I was probably accounting for the draw. So I was just say the correct play would have been not passing with 4 in hand, so just acting Scry the Skies. Unless I'd already... No, I could Scry the Skies because I drew 1 for turn. I popped GCR that turn, and I had drawn off of Uncover the Plot, so I couldn't Scry the Skies that turn. That's right. But this is fine. I mean, I'm going to be able to like banish the fast cure to play an Orbital Glitter. This is why it's really important to have a card in your shield deck that converts a floating memory into a draw. Just so that once you are level 3, you are able to get that value out of your fast cures, your Stalwart Shieldmates, or anything. If you're on Creative Shock to play, discard a card. You're able to get a +1 out of it. Yep, Orbital Glitter here. Banish the fast cure. Get my Glimpse. Put it on top. Get the reveals. Do 4 damage to my opponent. Recover for 9.
And I will deal 4 damage to you.
Yeah, technically for game, and that's game. I could have acted like it was a game, but it's more fun to get the kill with Luther. Yeah, so I hope that this was an interesting kind of analysis of the game, kind of my thought process through the deck. If people would like to see any more of either of this style of video of like a gameplay going on with me commentating over it, just let me know either in Discord or in comments on this video. And the people at Chessco we've talked about before doing some kind of gameplay videos, and the problem that we run into is like that we didn't have any good recorded footage ahead of time. We all live in different states. We can't get any live gameplay footage. So if we did, we would need to be doing TTS gameplay. If you would still be interested in that, we would absolutely love to do it. Multiple of us have expressed interest in doing so. We've just been kind of concerned about the sort of the video quality. Fortunately, True Champion Gaming, big shouts to them for streaming this regional. I think that having streams for events is extremely valuable to the community as a whole. It kind of just showcase gameplay at a tournament level, kind of what people are doing, what kind of skill levels are at a tournament, how people are playing decks. Having gameplay is a phenomenal resource, and that's why we kind of want to do more gameplay content. We've just been concerned about TTS because it is less exciting to look at, and seeing people play with physical cards is much, much more entertaining. But yeah, so just let us know. This was a fun kind of review to do. I think it's kind of a long video. It looks like it's about 40 minutes long, even at this point. So maybe I'll trim a bit down in the editing. We'll actually see what the final number is. But yeah, I hope this was interesting. And if you do want to see gameplay, let us know what decks you want to do. Between all of us, we can play basically any deck in the game. We can play any deck in the game. How good the gameplay is, some of them we're not as familiar with as others. But between the 8 of us, we can play most decks in the game, so we can get some interesting videos out there for you all. We can either do live matches, no commentary, or this kind of more like thought process, look back, kind of talking you over game plans to the deck. But yeah, I don't know how do you end on a video. Have a great day, everyone.